Good morning. So I want to throw an idea by you that I'm contemplating today, and that is about the symbolic nature of the world. Now, I'm in Wisconsin right now, and I'm heading back to Illinois. I just did a book drop of Thoughts from Sunrise. Dropped a bunch of books off at a store in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'm going back home to Chicago, Illinois. And as we know, each of those states are different. They have different feelings, different qualities to them. If I was to drive on the interstate, I could keep traveling to, say, Kentucky, or maybe end up in Florida and go up to New York, or even go all the way over to California. And each one of those states expresses a different quality to it. There's a different feeling. There's different experiences to be had in each one of them. And this, to me, is the physical world expressing, let's say, a symbolic gesture of how to navigate the inner world of the inner states. And so the physical world expresses these in a physical way, which shows, road I can touch. The states have certain qualities. Some have mountains, some have prairies, rivers, and different physical features. There's different energetic movements of the people in these states. There's different life experiences to be had in each one of these states. And so if we take the physical world as a symbolic gesture, it points to how we can navigate the inner world to have these qualities expressed. And so if I am in these different states in the inner world, I could be in a state of poverty, or a state of richness, a state of depression, a state of happiness, a state of melancholy or excitement, or all these different state of agitation. And there's all these different states. And if we know where the road is, and that's the trick, is finding the road, finding the interstate to leave the state to get into a different one. And that's the inner discovery of finding that way out into a different state. Because normally when we're in a state, it seems overwhelming, it seems all-encompassing, and then we identify with it, and it seems impossible to get out. Or that there is even a possibility of a different state, because we become so identified with where we're at. But if we take the physical world as just a pointer, that symbolic gesture of how to, and even not just how to, but the possibility that exists, that there is another way to be. So when I find that inner state and shift between them, I'll notice that there's different qualities, different feelings, different experiences that show up in my outer world, in what become the physical manifest world. And so what I'm suggesting is that the inner world, let's say the outer world informs the inner world, yet the inner world is what dictates the outer world. And so if we use the outer world as information, pointing to how to navigate the inner world and where we can go, then I can go into the inner world and make the shift. So if I can find the roadway for shifting between, say, depression to happiness, or even, say, acceptance or a different state, and then remain open to that new state, just as you would, say, when you're traveling to a different country. You won't go to a different country and pretend that you're still in Nebraska when you're really in Paris. You're gonna be in Paris and be open to the experience of what Paris is like. So, and if you pretend that you're still in Nebraska and treat it as if you're in Nebraska, well, you're gonna probably have a pretty crummy experience of Paris. And so, when we travel to the new inner state, is also we have to remember to keep our being open with the fresh eyes to the new experience, and then see what happens, what shows up in the outer world of experience that is reflective of the inner state of being. This will be a very fun experiment to play with. I hope that some of you do. I would love some feedback on this, to see what your experience is, or what your thoughts are about this. So please play around. Nobody has to see what you're doing because it's all an inner experience. So take a few minutes and play around with it, and then see what happens in your outer world that then informs you of the shifts that you've done in your inner world. So I hope this was informative and helpful to some, and I look forward to seeing any feedback and what's occurred. All right, take care. Enjoy the day.